These bales of straw are called rolls of straw, and they remind me of the different worldviews that exist. The Bible has 9 different references to grass, and it talks about how flesh is like grass. What we're going to do in this next sketch is we're going to compare the one worldview that never diminishes to all the other worldviews that wither like grass. The secular religion has flooded into our universities, becoming the tail that wags our culture. Now, this secular religion flows into all areas of life: the media, movies, magazines, museums, etc. So we created a WAG strategy because Jesus said, "I am sending you out like sheep among wolves. Therefore be as shrewd as snakes and as innocent as doves." This great 4-animal verse is clear. Use wisdom when talking about competing worldviews. Give good answers. Point out evidences from the book of Genesis. Now, for a sheep to persuade a wolf, he should be as clever as a snake and innocent as a dove. He should focus on the competing worldviews. He should focus on good arguments, which is apologetics. He should focus on real history starting in Genesis. WAG content is integrated into 12 tools that we're going to talk about. And the first one is truth. These sketches are designed to rent space in the mind. Talk to people about truth using this first sketch. Now, Jesus said, "Everyone on the side of truth listens to me." So the very foundation is a worldview, and worldview is real, true value. And this worldview rests on 2 assumptions. A worldview is what you assume to be real, true, and valuable, and it rests on assumption number 1 and assumption number 2. Christians assume 2 things. They assume that in the beginning, God, in other words, God exists. That's what they assume. They believe that in the beginning was the Word. In other words, God speaks to us. And then the secular religion also makes 2 assumptions. And they try to hold up their version of real, true value. And the first assumption is chance. They believe that stuff flew out from an explosion and it self-organized into very complex living things. And when you ask them, how do you know this to be true? They say, well, professors have taught them that, or scientists. Now, everybody's religion is located right on top of their worldview. Religion is simply what the Supreme Court said is what you believe. And religion is our ABCs. It's our attitudes, it's our beliefs, and it's our concepts. Now, Jesus said when he talked about religion, "Whoever believes in me will not perish, but have eternal life." Everyone builds a worldview in the exact same way. They start with assumptions, and that holds up their worldview, which holds up their religion, which holds up their daily decisions, and then from there, they make daily actions. Now, our assumptions lead to all sorts of different conclusions. A person may say, we need to save the planet, or we need to make disciples, or we need to take from the rich and give to the poor, or they say we need open borders. Whatever they say, it can be traced to their priorities, which rest on their religion, which rest on their worldview, which rest on their assumptions. So a wise disciple in communicating needs to point out the power of a person's assumptions. Now, everybody makes assumptions by faith. Faith is this thing that you can't see, but people are assuming by faith what is real, true, and valuable, which holds up attitudes, beliefs, and concepts. In other words, the religion, which holds up their decisions and their actual doing or their living of life. So in this truth sketch, the first of 12, we find 4 worldview laws, which are like 4 gold nuggets. Number 1, everybody has a worldview. Now, everybody is going to agree with that. Number 2, worldviews rest on assumptions. Now, everybody agrees with that. Number 3, assumptions rest on faith, and everyone agrees with that. But the last law of the 4 worldview laws, that real true faith rests on facts, is where you get into discussions, where you get into disagreement. The battle for truth is rooted in facts. Worldviews identify the problem, apologetics give good answers, and Genesis is the foundation for clear thinking. In other words, a WAG strategy. So please use this sketch to talk about truth. Now, write your answers to the 3 questions and then move on to sketch number 2.